All right. Welcome everyone to one of our weekly webinars this week. This week we are really privileged to have Holly Evans, social worker from Pediatric Oncology Hematology in Starship in Auckland, to join us today. And she's going to be talking a little bit about her job, about some of the things that she gets up to, some of the things that you can expect in terms of support when you come to Starship, and maybe demystifying some of the things that patients might be expecting from the service up at Starship. So with that, and also myself, my name is Tim, a regional manager that covers the pediatric team up in Starship, and I cover from Gisborne all the way up to Kaitaia in Northland. So yeah, I'd like to hand the time over to Holly, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put it through on the question and answer section.
Oh, thanks, Tim. Hi, guys. My name's Holly. I'm one of the paediatric social workers at Starship Hospital, like Tim said. And this is my colleague, Margella D'Ambrosis. So we both work up on the oncology ward. Our role here at Starship is we meet with every single new family that comes onto the oncology ward and receives a new diagnosis. We'll meet with you when you first learn of that, and we will support you and get to know you and support you through that. We can provide emotional and practical supports for the whole family while you're here with us. We'll advocate on your behalf with the medical teams at Starship, and we will support and facilitate discharge planning if needed. We'll also work with the specialist teams here at the hospital and support you around that as well. And we can link you into all the community agencies that will help you on your journey here with you and your child, family at home. Yeah, good supports in place. As well as cultural supports here at the hospital that we can link you in with. When we talk to you, we'll have a big support pack that we can discuss through with you. We have things like the Child Cancer Foundation and Blood and Leukemia, who are fantastic supports and will support you throughout your journey, both at the hospital and at home. We have Cameron Wilson Trust, who are a great support financially for you. We've also got carer support. This is usually completed within your local DHB. However, if you haven't received that, we can talk that through with you and get that set up for you as well. National travel assistance is something that we'll link you in with. Usually it's sorted out by your DHB prior to arriving at Starship. This is an agency that you can book flights through and organise your accommodation while you're in Auckland if you are over 100 k's away from the hospital. It's also where you can claim back some mileage if you live over 25 k's away from the hospital as well, but we will support you with that and sign off all that paperwork and make sure that's underway for you. We've got agencies called Head High that will support you with some beanies, hats, wigs, whatever you need during your time here. Make-A-Wish Foundation are also a fantastic organisation that will support you and your child in creating an amazing wish or experience for them that they can really look forward to or have while they're in hospital. We'll also talk to you about work and income financial benefits or practical supports that we can link you in with or that you might be eligible to. We aren't needs assessors, however, we will endeavour to ensure that you are linked to the appropriate resources there. And additionally, we also provide lots of work, support, letters, immigration, school, whatever that you might need to let people in your life know. Support you there. Yeah. Some things that we have here at the hospital are the service called the Consult Liaison team. They are a team of counsellors, psychiatrists, psychologists, and they will support you and provide in-depth specific support for your child, a young person, yourself, or the whole family while you're up here. As the social work team, we can provide you a bit of emotional support and supportive counselling. However, more in-depth support is continued by the Consult Liaison team, who are wonderful here. The social work service doesn't hold vouchers, petrol vouchers or taxi chits. However, we'll advocate and facilitate that for you to ensure that you have that either internally or externally to the hospital. And as mentioned before, Work and Income New Zealand will support you in accessing those practical and financial supports through them. And we also have an ADHD liaison who we can link you up with if necessary. Yeah. Anything you'd like to add, Angela?
No, that was a great overview. Are there any questions or?
Yeah. Or anything to add, Tim?
There is one question on the question and answer section if you go to the bottom.
Yep. That's a good question. So National Travel Assistance doesn't fund sibling flights. So there's something called secondary support that we can do for you. So it's always one person and your child are funded for travel. However, secondary support, we can fund your partner or a grandparent, an auntie, another person that's really important to you and your child and will support you here. Siblings, unfortunately, aren't funded through that. But however, we do have quite a range of really fantastic organisations and supports that we will discuss and advocate for you in terms of getting a child's flight funded.
Cool, that was awesome. I had like a few questions, just general questions for you guys. So obviously the NTA will only fund patients from like 100 Ks away.
Yes.
So how would you support a patient who's 99 Ks or 90 Ks away? Because that's one thing that, you know, kind of always comes up by patients. They feel kind of shortchanged, and it just adds an extra stressor for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely, it sure does. So with National Travel Assistance or NTA, if you live over 100 Ks away, that entitles you to accommodation. And mileage is if you are over 25 Ks away. So in terms of accommodation, if you're 99 Ks away, we don't have any accommodation specifically here in Auckland for that. But however, we do advocate for families if needed to get access to that accommodation. And we will work with you with that and support you in other ways.
And probably to add that regardless of how far away from the hospital you live, if your child ever needs to be in the intensive care unit, then you're automatically given accommodation.
Yes.
So you don't have to return home if your child's in intensive care. You can stay close by.
Yes.
Cool, that's great information. I had a second question.
Yeah.
So this is just following up on the consult liaison team and the information that you guys have provided there. Is there a consult liaison team provided for families who are outside in the community?
So we don't have one that's external to the hospital. However, we can link you in with agencies outside of the hospital that are local to you, or the consult liaison team have really good resources as well that can be linked in with.
Cool. And are these, we're just asking in terms of funding for these, are these things funded as well? The outside consult liaison?
I think that is individually based. Consult liaison team have a great list of resources that are available to families that are funded. It is different with different local regions as well. It'll be something that we looked into though and assured that we can support you with that and funding it.
Cool. Just another question's kind of popped up in our question and answer section.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is the medical team doing any teleconsults for patients during COVID shutdown, or was everything business as usual? So things weren't business as usual up here during the lockdown. For families that did come up here, there were very specific rules, and this was messaged out by Amber, the ward num, Some families did require telehealth, and they were contacted and that was set up, and some still were required to come into the hospital for face-to-face consults. And some families went to their local hospitals and it was arranged for them to be reviewed there. So it was really kind of needs dependent on the child. But if you did have any concerns about missing a consult, please contact your clinical nurse, who will be able to arrange a consult for you.
Awesome. Thanks. One more question is a couple more questions have popped through.
Are there any whares for Māori patients to stay or their family in Auckland? Yes, we do have accommodation for Māori families on the hospital grounds, the whare. It's a shared accommodation. It is a case-to-case basis in terms of Auckland families. However, we do work closely with them and accommodation is available.
Were there any delays or changes in oral medications as opposed to IV meds? I'm presuming that's meant during the COVID period. I actually don't think we can answer that question. That's a good question to ask, but probably is better responded to by the medical team. Bit out of the realms of our social work knowledge, sorry.
That's okay. Appreciate the thought about the medical team as well. Is there any? Oh, there's another question that's popped through.
No.
Just sorry for the squirrely question. Is there any other kind of updates just for our families, just from the ward, in terms of? I know that the charge nurse has sent out visiting rights and those type of things. Is there anything that families should be looking out for in terms of their children? Like, do the updates usually just come from you guys, or is there like a website that they need to keep in contact with so they know what the updates are in terms of what's happening for pediatric oncology, hematology on the ward?
Yeah.
So my understanding was that Amber was sending out regular updates to families by email. So if a family has their email address registered on the system, they should be getting regular updates from the team here. So I think that has been happening.
Yeah.
But if families do feel like they don't have adequate information or they want more information, please do email the ward or their nurse specialist so we can make sure you have all the right and up-to-date information. I think that my understanding is that things here are still restricted, just to ensure the safety of the patients having treatment until we know what level 2 looks like, and if there, potentially is an increase in community spread or not. We're erring on the side of caution to protect all the patients up here.
Awesome.
Another question is, was it possible for most families who are eligible to receive the COVID rescue package or the WINS unemployment or not?
Or was it either or?
Yeah. We supported a lot of families in terms of accessing support through WINS with the COVID package, or if they lost their employment. Through the hospital, we have Work and Income New Zealand Liaison, who we directly contact, and we can make that a priority, that they have a phone assessment and that is arranged for them. And also they've made Work and Income have made it really easy online to apply for those benefits at the moment. Nice and easy, and you don't have to go into the office.
Cool. Perfect. All right. So with those, when you talked about the information and the updates that patients would like to have, you guys will be able to provide an email that patients can contact post this webinar?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
to type
All right.
that out.
If you can just email that through, that'll be great.
Yeah, of course I can. Not a problem.
Awesome.
Yeah. Contact us if there's any questions at all, and we can either help you with that or point you in the right direction.
All right. And is it possible for patients to have your a contact information for you, or will you just have that same email?
Same email. I'll just type it in here. Same email on here. There we go.
Perfect. And patients can email you directly.
Absolutely, not a problem at all, and encourage it.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'd like to thank Holly and Magella. Unless you guys have any final things you want to share with our patients.
No, but probably just to say that we're really open to feedback and advice. So if families come into the hospital, please feel free to ask to see a social worker at any point if there's anything that you feel that we could be doing that we're not doing. We're always here.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for the kind parting words. This is Holly and Magella, social workers from the pediatric hematology oncology team. And sorry, there is. Let's do this. There we go. So we'll post this video on our Parents Group Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And if there are any comments or questions that they might have, then we will direct them back to you guys. All right, cool. Lovely to have you guys all. And thanks for tuning in for our webinar this afternoon.